Hello, welcome to our video.
Welcome back. Today we are doing our van installation and taking out the bulkhead.
So it's a bit of a task today on one of the hottest days of the year. Back in the shade, Poppy's happy, we're happy. Let's get started.
Welcome to the land of DIY. We're after paint. Right, this is what we want. But we want some anti-rust stuff. I think they call it crust or something.
Crust to stop the rust.
So we got hammered white, direct to rust metal paint. Exactly what it says on the tin.
We've got some rust paint and a paintbrush. We're just giving Peggy B a wash because, as everyone knows, everyone's cars are mucky at the moment with all the sand that's gone on them. So we're just giving her a little bit of a wash so she's nice and clean to start working on inside.
We got a lot of tools and things to clear out. Put in my workshop. This is the workshop, guys. Inside my workshop, I've got some tables, some benches. We got lights and we got some sockets and light switches, thanks to my uncle. Hooked me up there. Here, I've actually got a fireplace for the winter time because it gets so cold in here because there's no, well, there is a tiny bit of insulation I put in, but it does get cold in here.
Job number one.
To sweep the floor from any debris that I've created after the last couple of weeks of work. And job two would be to take the bulkhead out. I think we're going to do that first because we've got a floor to walk around on and it just would be easier for us to take the bulkhead out. And then once that's out, we need to try and find out how to take up this floor, find all the screw holes and take out the wood. And then we've got some paint, some metal paint, and we're just going to touch up over the bits that have exposed metal from the paint that's chipped away and start insulating.
Go. Yeah.
So we've managed to take out all the bolts, and then on each side there's these massive rivets, which we've used the angle grinder just to peel back most of the metal on the rivet and then just finish it off with the drill just to punch through. So she is loose and we've got one bolt holding it here at the top. So hopefully this is the moment of truth. Find yourself poppins.
Ta-da! Bulkhead removed. Oh, she looks so big. Peggy B, what's happened to you?
Oh, look at all this extra room and this natural light coming through. Step two is going to be taking off all this plywood and then we'll be looking at cleaning up the metalwork. Right, that is the floor up. That was a lot harder than I was expecting because all of the screws were rusted and they had countersunk them into the plywood so deep it just filled up with loads of sediment and rubbish. So we were digging them out, trying to to get the screw head back, and then having to hammer it with the posi and try and get them back up. Some of them I couldn't, so I had to pull them through and I just used the pliers to twist them out, but most of them they were okay. Let's give the floor a clean up, and then I've got some paint that I'm going to use to treat all of this bare metal or the rust that's come through, and then that way we should be good for the next good few years. these are the bolts that were tie down points in the corners here. As you can see, there's one there, one over here, and a few over there. And they were rusted up badly, so I couldn't get them undone because of the insert. So I've ground out the heads, and I've wedged in one of my crowbars and kind of bent it round to undo them. There's a whole pot of them there. It took a bit of process, but I'm glad it's done. And I think I'm going to fill those holes, because there's some holes here now. I think I'm just going to fill those with some adhesive, and then that will stop any water or anything coming through, or any rust being produced. I think that's the best bet. There's also obviously holes in all the floor where the screws were down, holding the flooring in. So again, I'm going to get some silicone and fire in those. But I think we're going to reuse this flooring, aren't we, Luce?
I think so.
There's nothing wrong with it. It's
sturdy floor.
It's just good floor.
Put the vinyl back over the top.
So I think use different screw holes from where they have, and then put that down under over the top of the insulation, and hopefully then we can just put some vinyl on top. This is the whole problem I've got.
We're tall people.
That much space, that's probably 50 mil of head height in this van, and the whole reason we got a bigger van was because we wanted to stand up in it, and we don't want to build up off the floor too much, and we definitely don't want to build off to the ceiling too much. But luckily in the ceiling we've got these box sections which we'll be able to put insulation in between. But yeah, the floor, it's got to be minimal. I can't build up off it too much. So we've got the insulation, and we're just going to lay that down and put the flooring back on top, and then it'll be a finished floor straight on top of the plywood, and that should be a good job for us. No need to prime or undercoat, quick drying, direct to rust metal paint. Okay, here we are doing the last bit of today. It's been a long day, it's been so hot. Me and Lucy are both knackered, and even though we're in a white van, it still is so hot in here. So hopefully once some insulation goes down, we won't have to struggle so much in the heat anymore. Last time you saw us, it was a Saturday, and today is Tuesday. I should be working today. Well, I have been working this morning, and I have managed to find half a day free time. So I'm going to finish off the flooring in the back of the van, and the first thing we need to go do is go pick up some self-tapping screws from Screwfix, as the old ones, as you know, were not in good condition to reuse. So let's go to Screwfix and get those screws. Down. Down. Poppy, down. You never listen. Why don't you ever listen? Why do you do this? Screws required. Time to go to the workshop to grab the insulation where I've left it, and then we'll make a start. Keys. It's locked. Oh, keys on the other side. So these are what they look like. Just some, it's like a squidgy metal back with a sticky side on the other side. So that just gets stuck to a large panel like so. And then apparently it stops any noise coming through. So I've got 30 sheets, and the question is how many am I going to use up? Okay, just to show you, this side has no sound deadening, and this side I've just applied a few panels around it. I've got my microphone here. I hope it picks up what I'm hearing. I use the back of my knuckle. It's rather tinny. Whereas on this side, a little bit, it's more hollow, like, do you know what I mean? It's a little bit more dense. That's definitely got more of a ring to it. Yeah, I think it's working. I mean, we've got a whole roll of insulation to put on this yet, and that's obviously got some sort of sound deadening properties in it as well. I'm really excited to get it on the roof because that is loud when it rains. But yeah, going good so far. And this is the next thing we're going to get on with, the flooring. So we've got this big roll here of it's got like a metal back to it to help for a vapor barrier and for sound deadening, and on the inside it's just got a 6mm thick insulation wrap, and on the very outside it's a sticky back to it, so I can literally just stick it straight to the floor, put the old flooring back on top, screw it back down. The reason why I've gone for minimal insulation here is because of our head height, and I think I've mentioned this before, but I've only got so much head height in this van, so it's really important that I need to try and keep it to a minimum on how much we actually put down here. But not only are we putting down this insulation, once the ply's gone down and the finished flooring goes down, I'm going to use a vinyl laminate, and it comes with its own insulation underneath, so it's going to technically be double insulated, and I think it'll be fine. That's the sheets all sanded. Didn't really do much, but where the screws had come out there was a little bit of splintering around them anyway, so it's definitely cleared all that up. Welcome back, guys. We're putting windows in today. We're having two windows and they're going side by side on this near side of the vehicle. We've watched lots of YouTube videos on how to do this because we actually have no clue, and by the looks of things you just cut out a hole and stick it on the outside. So that's what we're gonna do. I'm going to take some measurements, and yeah, wish us luck. Guessing this bigger one is for the slidey door, maybe? I don't even know how you'd work it out. I think we're just going to have to offer it up. God, it's very tight on there though. Maybe I got it upside down. I think that one definitely goes there. Can we confirm that? Oh, there is writing on it, so I'm guessing it will go with the writing upwards. We're going to remove this support rail because that's going to be directly in the middle of the window, and I think it's just fixed by some spot welds up here at the top and at the bottom, So if I just cut through those, I should be able to just pull it off. And that's got some like sticky sound deadening stuff on the other side. So yeah, that's the plan. Let's do it. So, is it raining? Oh.
They ask you how you are, and you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
That's that out. Now I'm just going to tidy up these edges with my grinder because they're sharp, and then maybe file them down a little bit as well. But I don't think we're fitting windows today because it's raining big time. Everything's getting wet. Take off those high spots. So what I got here are some Bosch metal cutting blades for sheet material. So they're a bit wider, stop any flex and wobbly cuts. I got a Bosch sharper 6mm drill bit, oh no 5mm, and then I've got a 10mm Bosch metal drill bit which will just help go through. We're going to drill a hole roughly somewhere down here as like a guide spot, and then we'll be able to measure down from the top sill, and we could probably do the same from the bottom and the sides, and then rather than cutting out a massive section we can just work off these little drill holes. Crikey, we've done it now.
We've made a hole in Peggy B.
We know that this window's going completely up to this lip and completely down to the rail here for the sliding door. So if we just measure up a distance that we want to stick on and measure down a distance that we want to stick on, then we should all be gravy. So it's going to look something like that.
Is the writing the right way up?
Yeah. So we know that that is like tight, yeah? We know that the bottom edge has got 55mm before it starts hitting the opaque glass. So on here, 55mm there. And on the top edge, we've got 60mm before it hits glass. So that's somewhere there. So visually, when you actually look out the window, you're going to be looking from these 2 points, and the rest of it's going to be covered by this black glass. So, do we cut just the bit that we can see out and allow a little bit more, rather than cutting out loads than what we actually need? We've found ourselves our shape. We've taken a few other dimensions. Lucy didn't want any right angles, so I'm sticking to the curves. The idea behind all this is I'm gonna pre-drill some holes through on the angles, on the curves here, and then trace this line on the outside, and I'm gonna do my jigsaw cut from the outside because I want the outside to be super clean, because that's where we're sticking the glass onto. Lucy's trying to prove to me that she's capable of drawing dot to dot.
I am capable of drawing dot to dot.
I'm just going to leave this here. I'm going to leave a little section here at the bottom. I'm going to leave a little section here at the top just to stop it from falling down, because I need to take extra care around these corners. I should give it a little bit more support upright, because at the moment it's doing all this flappy. I did come off my line a little bit, but I think it'll be okay.
There's a hole in our van.
We've got the windows out, completely gone. We did this one because the camera died, so we did this one in our own time. It was a lot easier, this one, because we could just follow the inside print, whereas this one was slightly more difficult because there was different levels of metal on the inside, so we had to really spend some time working that out. But this is what we got in the kit now. We've got our body primer, which goes around the edge of the screen, the window, and then we've got our glass primer, which is like a wipe. You wipe that on the glass around, and then we got some master bond. It says 1 hour drive away time, but I think we're going to give it at least the evening till the morning. And it's already cut with a nozzle for a really thick application, so we can go straight round the perimeter and then stick the glass on. Ooh. Is this supposed to do 2 windows? We're not going to have enough. Right, primer's on and it's drying. I think you need to leave it to dry.
The windows are on.
I will say it was quite stressful.
Very stressful.
Line up the gaps and things. But
Now we wait.
done it. I'm a bit worried because we shifted this window over a bit at the last minute to close this gap up a tiny bit more. It was a little bit too far back. I'm just hoping the sealant handle didn't go off already, so I'm just hoping that it was still wet enough to be able to move it. But we'll see.
So we have something to admit. The windows didn't quite go as planned
We messed up.
after. Well, I'm not sure if we messed up, if it was the products we got given, a few errors.
In the last video, we moved this window here last minute to try and push it over to close this gap up. That was probably not the best idea. The adhesive underneath the window had lost contact and bonding. I mean, for the first few days it was alright.
Yeah, it was
But
okay.
as I was driving around, the bottom of the window is flapping in the wind like this. And
Great.
yeah, we decided to go down the professional route. And we had
So-
someone come out and fit them for us properly. He took them off and refit them.
Redid them because we did also have a leak up here, because basically the gun that we were using was really
Yeah.
stiff to get. You probably saw in the video, Miles was having to like really squeeze, so it created a little gap at the top, which obviously created a leak.
So yeah, but we're happy that, you know, they're on properly.
They're really good. Well, the guy who came to fit them, I was watching, and he had, you know, an electric gun, so it was just one smooth line round.
Yeah.
He basically said that the wipe that we used didn't fully decontaminate the window, so which is why it didn't fully stick. So he properly sprayed it and scrubbed it, had all the professional equipment to make sure that this didn't happen again.
but it's all good, and we hope you enjoyed the video. It was our first time doing any sort of van conversion bits, so we were learning just as much as you probably might be for your van conversion. Next, we've just ordered electric solar panels and all of the batteries and everything that comes under that category, and we're going to be fitting them.
Which I feel like is the next, the last kind of scary part, really scary part to the van.
I think there's more to come.
Okay, well, in my
more to
eyes,
come.
it's the last scary part. And then it's kind of like the inside's looking good now. All the sound deadening's out, the insulation's out, the windows are in. It's kind of looking more like a camper van now.
Yeah.
Which is exciting.
I'm excited for the solar.
We're excited for the solar.
Power.
Yeah.
Don't work on water unless you've got power.
But stay tuned and remember to like and subscribe.